Hello everyone, Sunday, November 17th, 2019. Of course, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, and I went to a show yesterday and didn't have an opportunity to do a video until right now, so here we go with the video. It was another really big week for books. That's kind of like I stated in the last video. That's kind of the nature of the beast right now, and so we will jump right in. Here's the first book, Facsimile Edition, Tomb of Dracula, number 10, first appearance of Blade. Now, I wasn't real wild about these reprint books when they first came out, but the more and more they're coming out, and the quality of them is really, really good, especially the ones with the original advertisements. You know what? I would rather read the $3.99 copy of that book than the $1,000 copy in high grade. So I'm really liking those facsimile editions on some of the books. I don't get all of them, but I do like looking at the old advertisements, so that's pretty good there. Also from Marvel, we'll do Marvel first, obviously. One of the big releases this week, Morbius number 1. Here's cover 1 here. Number 2. A lot of different covers on Morbius. And this one here I kind of liked. This was kind of my favorite cover of the week of this particular storyline. And so I really liked that there. So that was Morbius number 1. I am having high hopes for that book because, again, we need a really good vampire storyline that hasn't really happened for a long time. Next from Marvel, Fallen Angels number 1. I've heard good and bad about this. I have not had an opportunity to read it, so I will hopefully in the next couple days. But here's cover A and cover B. One of the books on my Pick of the Week videos, Black Cat Annual number 1. Really cool cover there. And this was selling really, really well at the shops. So there's that there. And X-Men number 2. Right there. I thought that was the only cover I really liked was this one here. So I only picked up one of those. There is an event at the end of the book that happens. So I'm not going to ruin it for you. So check it out and see what that is. So that was it from Marvel. So we'll jump right into DC. Book that was really, really hot, that's kind of, you know, blowing off the shelves and has a little bit of heat to it right now, is Far Sector number 1. This is cover A. And cover B. Right there. Again, a lot of people buying this book off the shelves. RWBY number 2. This cover here, really, really nice looking cover. I really like this cover here. And this, of course, is a Artrim cover. And I believe this is the first art he's done on DC. So here's this right here. That may or may not be correct. I'm not sure, but that's a really nice looking book right there. Another one of my picks for the week, Blackest Night, part of the Dark Multiverse number 1 here. Catwoman 17. Again, this is another one of those covers that opens up, and I liked it. That's you know, Catwoman there. Sorry about the glare, and the villains in there. I like that Catwoman right there. So really, really cool book. I really like that one. So I picked that up. Mr. and Mrs. Freeze number. Well, actually, this is the Batman Detective Comics. What number was this one? I don't even know anymore. I think it's 1015. Detective Comics 1015. Another one of the covers. There's 1 and 2 right there. Detective Comics 1015. Wonder Woman 82. Really cool looking cover there with the magic lasso. The lasso of truth, whatever you want to call it. Harley Quinn Poison Ivy number 3, the Harley cover here. The Poison Ivy cover there. And let's see if we can get this. Here we go. Kind of looks like this when you put it together. Remember the last time they did a connecting cover of this storyline, it was kind of like this. So at least this time they did it correctly and was able to get the actual connecting cover together. The Batman's Grave number 2. This is number 2 of a 12-part series. I enjoyed the first one. Looking forward to the second one. And then they had a Batman's Grave number 2 Full cover right there. I like that one as well, with the bat light in the background, the bat signal. And lastly from DC, which personally was my pick of the week, it was also on the Tuesday video I did, which was the Dollhouse Family #1. Really good story. I read this one, really liked the first one. Definitely looking forward to the second one, and this was selling really well. I think it's something that might have a pretty good chance for television show down the road, something like that. Then they had the B cover, which I thought was the better of the two covers right there. There's that. And that is the rest of the DC books that I had. Don't mind the dog in the background. Now we go to the independents, anything other than Marvel DC, because someone sent a message saying, hey, it's not an actual independent book. Well, it's not. Anything other than Marvel and DC gets put in the independent non-Marvel DC stack. First one here from Boom Studios, Folklords #1. Ronin Island #8. I am enjoying the storyline still, so that's good. Black Stars Above. Have not read this one, but I am looking forward to reading this one here. This is from Nightfall Vault Publishing. Necropolis Legion, right here, #1. This is from Full Moon. Cool cover right there. From Mad Cave, RV9. This is #1. Image, Family Tree #1. This sold really well. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I talked to a couple of people who have. They really enjoyed it, so I am looking forward to this one as well. Ghosted in LA #5 from Boombox. Let's see what this is. Second here. Well, actually, I was wrong about the Black Stars Above, because this is a very different cover of this one, and it's from Vault Comics. Vault Comics for Black Stars Above right here. Cool cover right there. Unsacred #1. Is that there? Really nice cover on that. And then this was a cover purchase here. Really nice looking cover there as well. From Antarctic Press. So I was kind of disappointed. This is Teether #1. They got the black and white one. A lot of these came, at least here locally, a lot of these came damaged. I was lucky to get at least one here, and I'm hoping that my comic shop is able to, get another one in for me, because I did order a couple of them, and we will keep our fingers crossed. If I do, I will show them in a later video. Teether #1. Pinup Special, Grim Fairy Tales. Really nice looking cover there. And then, of course, Elvira. I work at a hospital. There's a nurse. I don't see nurses who look like that, but it's a really cool cover right there, Elvira. That is it for the books. Again, as you can tell, another really big week for books. And whenever there's a big week, it means it's a big hit on the pocketbook. Now, like I had stated before, there was a comic show this weekend. It is the Great American Con that they have every year around this time. And in years past, the show has had a hard time. It hasn't been the greatest show. This one, I really have high hopes for this show because, like I said, it's at the right time. We can use a good local show. When I mean local show, meaning someone who lives here locally, who promotes the show, and who shows up. There was a couple of really good comic book sellers that were there. I guess the best up, Rob got me in. Thank you, Rob, from Red Hood Comics. Thank you so much for the free passes. But overall, again, not a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure they're going to say that there was a lot of people there. Not a lot of people, a lot of room to walk around, which is something that you usually don't find at a comic book store, at a comic book show, excuse me. But again, I'm sure they'll do one again next year. And I do have high hopes for this show. I do want to see the show be successful. But, I'm not going to be too critical about it because, I'd like to see a little bit more advertising and maybe bring in a little bit more comic book sales sellers. But you know what? We'll see how it goes. I haven't heard anything about the show. I went yesterday, walked around a couple hours, and then I was done. So there wasn't a whole lot to pick up. I will show you the things that I did pick up. A couple just real cheap things here. I didn't pay a whole lot for these. For the ones I'm going to show you right now, that's why I picked them up. First thing I picked up, Black Goliath #2. I got this as an 8.0. I think I paid like $4 for this book, so I'll pick that up all the time. And these are a couple of $2 books I picked up. Dead of Night #4 from '74, just a VG, but you know, if I can find these books in halfway decent condition, just filler stuff that's going to go in a box that I'm going to use at a later date. 5.0 Chamber of Chills #8, right there. And before anybody asks, this is just regular bag and board. This is not Mylar, but I use the triple boards, and I want to protect these books to keep them in the grade that they are in. Next up, Beware #6 from 1974, Dick Ayers art, 4.0. In any condition, these books sell really good because 70s horrors become very, very popular and a hot ticket. So if I can find them at a good price, again, these were like $2 a piece for those, I grab it. Now a couple of Mylar books I picked up. A Black Goliath #1 in 8.5. I got this for $10, and I was happy with that purchase right there. Really good book, and this book is, you know, going up a little bit. There's rumors about something going on down the road, but I'll buy these when I can find them for that price, so I did. Next up, Hawk and Dove #5 from 1969. This is a 6.5. It's Gil Kane cover and art. And this is a hard book to find in halfway decent condition because of the black background. There was a couple of spine ticks on the side there. But again, a really hard book to find because with the black covers, fingerprints show up really well. There was no fingerprints. I think I paid $14 for this book, but I'll buy that book for $14. And then my friend Rudy's going to like this one. Pick this one up. This is Millie the Model, #155. Again, not a high-grade book of 4.5, but this is a Stan Lee story on this. And again, these are kind of hard to find, the Millie the Models, in halfway decent condition. And when I say halfway decent condition, 4.5 to 6, because these get beat up a lot. Again, a lot of boys didn't walk in and buy Millie the Models. This was more, you know, towards little girls, and they didn't buy a lot. So there's not a whole lot of them out there in good condition. And then finally, a couple of other books before I show you the big book I bought. This is Mystery in Space, #103, 5.0. This is from 1965. I was happy to get this. And this was, again, this was like $7 I think I paid for this one here. And then a Mystery in Space, 4.5, #107. So that there, again, another cheap book I picked up for just a few dollars. So I'll buy these 12 centers in that condition because, again, everything I pick up, you could never have enough inventory. This is all inventory stuff. This is nothing that goes into my private collection because I have everything I want in my private collection. So there was that. And then the big book I picked up this week, not a high-grade book, a pre-code horror book that I was pretty happy to find because I always loved this cover. This is Adventures into the Unknown, #27. This is from 1952. I graded this a 3.0. The cover presents very well, but there is some issues with the back cover as it relates to wrinkling. And since I don't get books pressed, that's the way it's going to stay. And here's the cover right here. I just always like that cover. I've seen it a few times, and I was able to pick this up for a price that I was happy with because, again, like we've talked about, pre-code horror is getting harder and harder to find in halfway decent condition. And for those of you who don't know, 3.0 and above is pretty decent condition for those books. You can find them in a higher grade, but even mid-grade, and when I mean mid-grade, 4.5 to 5.5, maybe a 6, you're going to be paying big money for those books. And so that's where we're at with that right there. And then finally, I want to give a shout out. I met an individual named Tim Billow. Tim, it was very nice talking to you. He was selling at a booth. He has a company. He has a little booth. He has Bobo's Collectibles, and really nice. A viewer said some very nice things to me. So it was really nice talking to you, Tim. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you around town here since you are local and talking to you further. So there was that. Again, I'm doing the Tuesday videos. I'm getting a good response. I'm going to do another one this Tuesday. So if you do like these videos, give them a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you know somebody who might enjoy the videos, let them know about it. And that's pretty much all we have this week. A little longer than normal, but I hope you liked the video. But as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great night, and I'll see you in a couple days.